Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer, the 40K podcast, where we like to talk lore and do all types of 40K stuff. Today, we're going to be doing a 40K RPG conversion based off the game Mork Borg. And it's funny because when I was a younger man, I used to call myself Mork because I couldn't say ours. So every time I've been reading this over the last week, I've just been howling to myself like, what a retard he was. But joining me, we got my dear friend Christian. Hey, yo.
Hey, I will be playing Dayru tonight, so that is the name I will respond to from now on and forever. I'm changing my driver's license right now as we speak.
Identity theft is not a joke.
Michael!
We also got Gerald joining us. Hey.
Hello, I will be playing the part of Torval, the Master.
Nice. Get going with that accent, I hope, the whole time. Very good. And finally, we got the man who's going to lead us on this dungeon adventure. We got Corteo.
All right. Hey, good to be here, guys. Thank you so much for letting me take over on another fun episode here. So, if I may, I'm just going to kind of give you not only the players here, but the listeners, just kind of an overview of what's happening. So, as Mark mentioned, we are going to be playing, we're going to play Mork Borg, or Mork Borg. If you're Swedish, hopefully I did that pretty close. So Mork Borg is a fantastic RPG that I picked up, and it is, as they say, a doom metal album of a game. A spiked flail to the face, rules light, heavy everything else. And I've played 2 sessions of Mork Borg, and I've also played its sister game, Pirate Borg, which is fantastic.
Or in Swedish, or whatever you said. Pirate Borgi.
Pirate Borgi?
Yeah. You got to say it correctly, I think.
Yes. So tonight, we're going to be doing Mork Borg 40K. So this is going to be a little bit of a reimagining of one of the scenarios for Mork Borg into kind of a 40K theme. So it's going to be, if you're here and you're a fan of crunchy RPGs, solving mysteries, and like really fine details, we're going to fucking disappoint you tonight, because tonight is going to be mostly just like funny, cool moments, the flavor of 40K, maybe botching some rolls, maybe critting some rolls. We're going to find out.
I think like the summary of the rule set we're going to go with is like rule of cool,
yes.
That's the goal of this, I think.
I would absolutely agree. I think the more zany and I don't know, kind of atmospheric it gets, that's going to be good. Play into your character. And speaking of which, if you guys want to kind of introduce yourselves here, tell us a little bit about who you're playing, and then I will get into a little bit of the mechanics so that our listeners and watchers, if you're on the Imperial Tithe, will understand kind of what's happening.
Cool. Well, I guess I'll go first. My character's name is Harleth. Nice to meet you. I've lived alone most of my life out in the mountains, but sometimes I like to go into the city and crawl around in the sewers, and but mostly I like to be left alone. Ever since I was young, I always heard voices. Sometimes they're sing-songy, sometimes they're chitinous. I don't know how to describe it. I just know I don't like it, so I don't often sleep much, and I just hang out in the woods. Nice to meet you. Oh, wait! Here's my friend. His name is Cocky, and he's my mutated cockroach. That's all I got for you. I'm a simple hermit.
Awesome.
When you said that, I was going to...
And then just as a reminder, I thought so too, but if any of you die, I have backup characters. So, and yes, per requests, the Looper Call, I will be changing my name to Dungeon Daddy at this moment.
And
so
we will have to call you that from here on out, Dungeon Daddy. I hate that.
Dungeon Daddy.
All right, who's next?
All right, I'll go next. My name is Dayru. I am what people affectionately call Hive City Scum. I didn't have much of a young, youthful life. It was all just gutters and uh, ill repute and poverty was everything in my life when I was growing up. I've never really had a job before. I think it's a waste of time. Easier to poke someone and take their money. No use trying to make it yourself. I'm not some kind of factory puppet. All I need is a knight and a dagger, and I'm make enough to feed myself, and that's all that matters.
You do a lot of poking there, Christian?
Poking in the night.
I poke with a lot of different things.
Cool. All right, Gerald.
Okay.
Who do we got?
I am Torval, the occult herb master. I was raised in calm isolation in the Sarkash dark, and I usually just keep to myself. I like brewing concoctions of all shapes and sizes and of all effects. And I have the skull I like to call Leonard. He's my best friend in the whole world. He's one I whisper everything to. I trust nobody else. And I carry a portable laboratory with I can brew all my concoctions everywhere in the galaxy. And that is all I will say.
Fantastic. So, for the listeners and viewers out there, you could tell that none of these guys are going to be very powerful. And that's kind of the vibe that we want. So, they're all, I mean, none of them are Space Marines. No one is going to be a fucking custody because that would just be boring as shit. So, these guys are just going to be run of the mill, hive scum, city dwellers, factory workers, things like that. So, no one's going to be really firing a bolter from the hip tonight, but maybe we'll see.
We might try.
So,
we'll see.
You might try. But yeah, the idea here is that it's
I'm
kind
84
of just,
years old. My hip will blow right off if I try shooting one of them.
Yes. So, just everyday Joes living in the 40K world. So we'll see. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with Mork Borg's mechanics, this is a very rules-light game, as we said before. I'm going to have these guys roll mostly D20s. And so essentially their skill is going to dictate success or failure, as most RPGs do. If you're not familiar with RPGs, by the way, like, I'm sorry that this is going to be your first intro to an RPG, and yet I'm so excited. So I will be explaining and running the story and telling them what they can and cannot do. They will make their own decisions, and I will see if it can happen. They will be rolling to see if they succeed. There are only really 4 skills within Mork Borg. So there is going to be strength, agility, presence, and toughness. Strength is going to be mostly for combat, for melee attacks. Agility will be to dodge out of the way of attacks that are happening to them. Presence will be if you find a firearm, that will be what you use for ranged attacks, plus maybe a multitude of other things. And toughness is going to be a little bit more for fighting off infection, disease, if you're holding your breath underwater. Could be if you're getting pelted with snow or something like that. So that'll be a little bit more of kind of your constitution. When our players roll for a test, they're going to need to meet or beat a 12. So Mork Borg has a standard success of a DR 12, difficulty rating of 12. So on a D20, they need to get a 12 or higher to succeed. If I ask for a strength test from Torval, he's going to roll me a D20, add his strength value, which will be actually just 0, and tell me what he gets. Then we'll determine if he succeeds or fails. So again, these guys are not going to be very strong. They have some cool moments. They have some cool things that they can do. Some of you guys have some fun weapons, which we'll get into in a moment.
I just looked down and I found out I have a hook for a hand.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You just learned that now.
I just found out. I don't know what happened. On the quest to find my missing hand, I suppose.
Yeah. So, everybody's got armor and a weapon and some equipment. Whether that equipment comes into play, we'll see. But we'll kind of just learn as we go. It's going to be fun, very casual, and I'm going to kind of paint the picture for you guys momentarily. Do we have any questions, gentlemen?
Let's get into it.
No? Okay. All right. So we're going to be playing a modified version of Rot Black Sludge, but this has been modified by me, yours truly, and we're going to call it Horror Outpost 31. And if you understand that, high five and you're my friend. Okay. So all of you guys wake up in the brig of what you can tell might be some sort of freighter. You're chained to the wall in a dark, dingy, almost echoey chamber. It's just yourselves, the three of you. There is a metal door in front, and coming through that door is light through the single pane window. No interior light in the room that you guys are in right now. You feel the chains rattling against your wrists. You are locked to the wall behind you. Yep. As you awake, you remember threats of execution from the governor. You've all been basically arrested for heretical theft, is what they said. You hear the door slide open, and a robed man, you can't quite tell, a almost disfigured person comes in with red robes and like a checkered pattern over their hood. And they come in mumbling something as you kind of regain consciousness. He comes up to you and unlocks Dayru's one manacle from one hand. And he holds it in his disfigured palm. And he spits in one hand and slaps it in yours. So he kind of rubs it around your hand in his and looks you deep in the eyes and almost waits for something. And he kind of peers into your mind for a moment. And he releases you. He walks back and stares at all three, where you still have one hand free, and gives you the spiel that you guys have been charged with heretical theft, crimes against the Imperium, and that you face execution tomorrow. His voice is almost mechanical. You can hear some sort of digital aspect to his voice. He goes on to describe that the planet that you guys are currently being held on operates with refineries, that the refineries are a key part of what they produce for the Imperium. He says, I give you one chance to earn your freedom. The scum that you are deserve nothing in the eyes of the Imperium, but I give you this one chance. If you accept this mission and are successful, you will be set free with all of your belongings. If, and he pauses for a moment, if you deny, you will be executed at the first light, and no records will be of your existence ever. You will be wiped. You will never have existed. No loved ones will be sent any mementos. The world will be a better place by you being gone. But you have this option. Do you accept? And he looks over at Harleth, and then looks over at Torval, and looks at Dayru, and holds his hand out one more time to you. What do you guys do?
Well, sir, I find myself in quite the pickle, and normally I don't like coming into town because it seems like every time I do, I find myself in a situation like this. But just know that I will take you up on your offer, but you will see me again, and you won't like it after.
He comes up and unlocks one of your manacles and grabs your hand forcefully, spits into it, and rubs his palm on your hand. And he looks you in the eyes, and you feel almost this probing of your mind. And he says, I guarantee I will never see you again, but you may still be successful. Yeah.
Can I maybe it would be a presence test, but maybe not, just to see if this is a very familiar feeling to me of
Getting your mind
nighttime
filled.
dreams, if you know what I mean with my character.
I like how you say nighttime dreams in almost like a weird sexual voice.
Yeah, I was teasing.
Nighttime dreams. You know what? You absolutely kind of get this vibe that it's the similar kind of feeling of your mind being probed, for lack of a better term. Like your mind is not your own. And something is out there searching for answers within your mind, trying to feel you out, basically. But you don't get the sense that he is lying to you by any means.
Dungeon Daddy, while you are having this conversation,
yes,
can I do something? I assume you're distracted, locked eyes with Harleth.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm gonna reach into my mouth with my free hand and fish out a lockpick.
Okay.
And attempt to unlock my other manacle while you're through the conversation.
Give me an agility test. Here's our first one of the night, folks. You're going to roll a d20, add your agility, or subtract it, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. And then
a 12 or higher.
Can I read out my skill that allows that?
Yeah. What do you got?
The audio. So I have Filthy Fingersmith. Your snaky little digits get into pockets and pick locks with a DR8 agility test. And I begin with lockpicks. So
okay.
And I will make my roll. So that's on a d20?
Yep.
All right. 18.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. As Harleth is having his mind probed, yeah, so you go ahead and reach your other hand up there. You pull out just this gross lockpick that you've been hiding for a while. And yep, sure enough, your other manacle comes free. I am going to roll just a little perception check for him. He hears nothing.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah. How do turns work? Can I keep going with this? Because I have, or should I wait?
Let's see. Does Torval, do you want to do anything here? Or are you just kind of listening in?
I don't know what he can do with his hands
right now. Yeah.
Okay. So he's gonna take about 10 seconds, but then break away from Harleth. So he's had kind of his grasp on his mind for a moment. So you get the sense that if you're going to do something, you got to do it quick.
Okay. I feel around the dungeon floor, and my hand lands on what feels like a very sharp femur of a former resident of the cell. So I'm going to pick that up real quick.
You do not have that. You have been stripped of all of your equipment.
Okay. Is there anything? Can I see anything in the room?
You have just what's on your person right now, which would basically just be your clothes, and I'll even put in air quotes armor. The room is empty. There is light spilling from what looks to be a hallway, and you can hear the hustle and bustle of possibly a working station. You're not sure what this place is.
Okay.
But you get the sense that you're not alone and within the vicinity.
Okay. I'm going to do a stealthy approach behind you and try and grab you by the neck and strangle you.
Yes.
Okay. Give me a agility roll, and I'm going to need like a 14 on this.
All right. And just so you know, my agility is -1. However, my stealthy skill, all presence and agility tests have their DR reduced by 2.
Okay.
So 12 then.
Cool. Okay.
And I will make my roll. Oh man, it's gonna end badly.
What did you
7.
get? 7. Okay. You spring up And as soon as the chains kind of rattle behind you from getting up, you see two members of what you could only assume would be Imperial Guard, essentially like almost like military police, storm into the room and point their weapons at you and say, "Get the fuck on the ground right now. Get on the ground." And the hooded figure steps back and recoils his hand. And he says, "I gave you a chance. I gave you one chance. I will not ask again." And they are poised and ready to fire upon you.
I'm going face flat on the ground.
Okay, he's on the ground. Cool.
I don't know what came over me.
So, just to get things, they're still in the room. They're going to be pointing what we all know outside of game as las guns at your head. But essentially, just to kind of push things along a little bit. So this hooded figure is going to explain that there is a single refinery that is of no great importance, Outpost 31, but they have lost communication within about 30 to 40 days from now ago. And the governor, Pagarum, has a lot of pressure from the Imperium to produce a certain amount for the yearly tithe. And essentially, the governor will be forced to submit other more precious resources to the Imperium if this tithe is not met. Outpost 31 seems to be like the missing piece.
Uh-oh.
They go on to explain that there's rumor that a possible rabble of cultists has overtaken the refinery. There's no real factual evidence to go off this. You get the sense that they're kind of just putting too much faith into the heretical, in the sense that like they blame everything on heresy. Even whatever your minor theft was seems to be heretical in the eyes of the Imperium. So he pulls out what seems to be some sort of parchment and shows you that this would be a pardon for 3 different party members, and points at it with their deformed figures and shows that there is a signature from Governor Pagarum, and says that if you go to the refinery, Outpost 31, and find out what happened, if anyone's there, give me answers, and possibly communicate with Daxon Carr, the lead operations manager there. If he comes back and tells us what happened, I'll let you go. If you find proof that this was raided and come back with solutions, I'll let you go. If you come back with nothing, you will be nothing. If you don't return at all, well, and he looks over his shoulder at the 2 guards, and they smile at each other, ready and waiting just to have you give them a chance to blow you away. So they show you on some sort of map essentially where this refinery would be, explain that your mission, once again, is to go get answers, investigate, possibly neutralize a threat, and come back in order to be pardoned. If not, you will be hunted down and killed.
Whale leaves us not much of a choice.
Okay. So then what's going to happen is he's going to, he puts this parchment in front of Harleth first. And he kind of lifts it up and holds your hand, still manacled, and then slices the tip of your finger with one long nail, and you're bleeding out the tip of your finger. And he says, make a choice. And almost motions to it as if you're to put this bloody finger on a space at the bottom.
Yeah, I agree. And I put my finger I pick up what he's putting down, and I blotch the paper with my thumb.
Okay, great. He smiles and then slides over to Torval, and he grabs your hand and slices your
For
finger.
throat's sake, that hurt.
And he holds it up and says, make your choice.
Fine. Eh.
And then he kind of like it's like this beautiful squiggle of blood now. He's going to go over to Daru, who is still face down on the ground. And he's going to lean down face to face with you near the floor. And he's going to take his one kind of long nail and he's going to slice very slowly from your eye down your cheek. And he kind of puts it right to your face and says, "Choose."
I pad my face against the paper.
Yes. and he kind of even smears it. He's like enjoying this a little bit. Like, there you go. And he rolls it up.
Cool.
He rolls it up, puts it in this like wood container, and passes it off to one of the guards. And one of the guards leaves and runs actually with some haste. The other still has his las gun drawn, but the hooded figure releases you all from your manacles and gets you on your way. Is going to give you all your gear back. So now you still have all of your equipment. You're going to be on some sort of platformed speeder, if you could call it that, more like a transport vehicle. And you're out into what looks to be some sort of red sky, very derelict earth, kind of almost desert-esque. And you're making your way out from, when you look behind you, this massive facility, just huge. The walls go up hundreds of feet. And you make your way out past kind of the outskirts of this, if you could call it city, it'd be more of like a imperial fortress, in fact. And signs of the Aquila, all this beautiful kind of like stonework on the walls. So you get the idea that maybe this would have been like the governor's kind of fortress, if it was to kind of jar your mind that way. So you get out to what looks to be the middle of nowhere, and the speeder stops. There is a guard who is with you the whole time, and all he does is point one finger, and he points out to what you can see is this small, off in the distance building. Kind of looks like a makeshift bunker. Quite small, only maybe 30 feet high, really. And you kind of wonder, like, this is it? It seems very simple in design. And he shoves you off of the platform and says, "Get going. You have 2 days." Okay. You're muted there, Mark.
I fall flat on my face as I get pushed out, and I stand up and brush myself off. I check my pocket for my cockroach. He's still there, thank God. He's not over yet.
Awesome.
I turn back to the guard.
Where's my linen? I want my linen back. Now.
He kind of looks around and sees that there's a skull that was on the platform and kicks it off there towards your general direction. What kind of skull is this, by the way, Torval? Is this human skull, or is it going to be like a...
Oh. Yeah, we'll call it a human skull.
Human skull? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, I'm just gonna start walking, I guess, towards the distance. I kind of will make eye contact with both them, and then, and just start walking.
I'm going to give you guys a little bit of outside perspective here, if you wish. Do you guys want to kind of know each other already, or would you rather just not know each other at all, and then we can kind of do fun little introductions? It's your call.
I don't know.
Yeah,
anyone around me.
Okay. You guys are strangers?
Yeah.
I've always
Yeah.
been a loner.
Okay. So, yeah, he kicks you off and he zooms back on the platform cruiser. And you guys are all three just kind of staring at each other with one single direction to walk.
All right.
It's about what we would kind of gather would be like a mile away. So you have a little bit of time if you wish to kind of walk and chat with each other and introduce yourselves.
Well, My name's Harleth.
Hi,
Who are
Harlot.
you two? That was pretty brave of you trying to get us out of there earlier. I seen you doing it. I would have had your back if you were any better.
Oh, I wasn't getting us all out. That was all for me.
Oh. I'll look over to Torval and be like, well, maybe you and your skull will be a little friendlier.
I just stare at him through my gas mask for a few seconds, and then I just turn and whisper to Leonard.
Yeah. Do you guys have any distinctive features? How you look? Can you describe a little bit what you guys look like?
Yeah, my guy's like a run down, weathered face. Looks like those. What is that house in Necromunda that they're like the really religious advocate
Yeah.
zealots house, Cowdor.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can picture a house Cowdor guy, like just strips of cloth for clothes. I have fur armor layered on top of it. But just like patchwork of things. Clearly, I look impoverished, dirty, missing a couple teeth. Obviously, a hard life.
Cool.
And a fresh scar over eye.
Yes. Yes.
Our appearances aren't much different, except I got a way bigger beard. Like it's big. I haven't shaved. I've never shaved that thing type thing. So it goes down to my belly button. Big old beard, patchwork clothing, much like yourself, and missing an arm or a hand. I mean,
Yeah, because you have a hook for a hand, right?
yeah. Which I was wondering how they chained me up. If they just kind of looped it in the thing, but whatever. I didn't want to bring it up.
That's a good point. I think they would have, they kind of like looped it and maybe done like a little bit of a kind of knot kind of work with the chain.
Darval, what do you look like?
See, my guy you don't know what his face looks like because he actually wears a gas mask that helps him breathe and also helps him enunciate when he speaks. So that's why
he's such a loudmouth when he talks.
But he also is quite heavy set and just wears a padded cloth armor and a very thick leathery apron with undescribable stains that he will not elaborate where he got them from.
Cool. All right. So in your guys' walk and chatter and whatnot, you come up to, basically after some time, you come up to this building, and it certainly is what looks to be a bunker, and appears to kind of angle downwards as if it kind of goes underground. It is kind of encapsulated into like a mountainside, so you can see that there is some rocky formations that kind of surround this a little bit, boulder-ish desert kind of landscape, but this metal building and concrete building kind of dips down into the earth. There is a single large door that is ajar. It is just kind of hanging open a little bit. And yeah, there you go.
I'll open the door, but I'm not going in first.
Send in the skull first. I vote.
Let it grease.
I just set him on the ground and I just roll him into the open door.
Okay. You hear like and like stairs going for a decent distance, and then you just kind of hear it faintly stop.
Well, it seems safe. I'll enter.
Okay.
Follow the skull.
Yeah, so you open it up. It's pretty quiet where you're at, by the way. You would think that a refinery, obviously there was no communication, but there's no mechanical sound, really. So you guys open up the store, and you're met with a long staircase that descends, a concrete staircase that descends downward, and the only light that you can really see would be coming from the dimly lit sun or star from this planet, coming from behind you. So there is no light down this staircase. You guys descend?
Well, do any of you guys have any type of light source? All I got on me is... Well, that's none of your business.
I don't got nothing.
Meta question. Do I have my portable laboratory on hand?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Give me just one moment.
I would like to make... let me find it. A spider owl soup.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and roll me. Let's see. Give me a presence roll.
Okay, 1d20. Got a 12, and with my presence score of 0, so a 12.
Nice. Our first success. Way to go, Torval. Fantastic. Well, first Nat success. I mean, Daru, you had some.
Yeah, I
moment
unlocked
there.
my other mana.
Yeah. But a 12. That was good. Okay, yeah. So you guys kind of look, and Torval's like kind of hunched over, and he's got his little med kit brewing stuff, and he's kind of got some lab equipment going. You're not sure what he's doing, but quite quickly he's stirring something together. And you see this like kind of swirly red concoction come from this, what I would assume would be like a bowl. Would that be kind of accurate, Torval?
Could you repeat that last part? You kind of cut out for a second.
Would you have like a flask or a jar or bowl? How are you cooking this up?
Kind of like a little flask.
Yeah. Okay. So just a little flask. You've got it for sure. You know it to be spider owl soup. But you guys see him just kind of brew this weird thing together, and it's this red liquid in this vial. And yep, you successfully have 1 dose of spider owl soup.
How's that supposed to help us?
This is the spider owl soup. It'll help you see in the dark. And maybe even climb on walls for about, I'd say about half an hour. Would you like to give it a taste?
He offers it to you.
I motion to give it to Harleth first.
Food from a stranger never done me wrong before. And I take a little swig. Has a taste of, well, shit to it. Did you put shit in it?
Absolutely not. I use the finest herbs and ingredients and spices.
At this point, my eyes start to kind of kick in. I imagine I can see in the dark now. Whoa.
Yeah, it gets quite bright outside. You almost want to go deeper into this the stairwell.
It works.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
You do notice.
And then take a swig too.
Oh, you're taking a swig too? Okay. All right. Actually, I don't know if you're going to be able to. I think
Is it not enough for the
Harleth
dose?
would have probably drank the whole thing.
Yeah, it's only like a small flask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So
that's fine with me.
Harleth downs it.
And I smash the bottle out of half of the flask.
You know how expensive those vials are.
Harleth, are you going to be leading the way?
All right, everyone, hold my hand, and I'll take you down, and I extend my hook hand to them as a rude joke. And I lead them down into the depths. Left,
Torval
right,
reaches out to
left,
grab his-
right.
Torval reaches out to grab his hook hand. It accidentally pierces one of his gloves.
Oh, for throne's sake. Fine.
Come along.
Perfect. Harleth, as you lead them down, you kind of just brush against the wall real quick, and you notice that your hand kind of becomes quite firm against the wall, almost like it's stuck, like it's steadying itself. There's not any sort of liquid or substance on the wall, but you get a sense that you really can grip this cement really well and almost hold your strength on it. But you descend, you can see that there's about 30 steps, and at the bottom of it is just a bleached bone skull sitting there at the bottom step, and what appears to be dirt at the bottom, so almost like a rocky dirt bottom.
Hey, he made it! Your skull survived! And I'll pick it up and hand it back to Tarval.
Okay.
And Torvald just yanks the skull away.
So Daru and Torval, you really can't see much. Your eyes are starting to adjust a little bit. There is a warm light source from above, and what you can see is that there's essentially the landing that you came down to. You hear a little bit of a stream, almost like running water, and there's a small stream that seems to split this room in front of you in half. So there's dirt landing, various rocks and crags and things, and then there's that stream of water, and then another platform kind of on the other end. And you do see that there appear to be two doors on the far end, one on each side. Both are slightly ajar. Both seem to be reinforced steel. Okay. What you do, gentlemen?
Leonard led us down to the stairs. What about the cockroach? Would he like to go through one of the doors?
Well, the thing about him is I can't tell him what to do because he's just a cockroach. I don't know if you ever hung out with them before. They're fun. They make great friends, but ultimately just a cockroach, my friend.
So, you guys do notice, Harleth, you see floating above the little stream there, which is only about 3 feet wide. You do see these black and purple butterflies kind of fluttering about, maybe half a dozen or so, just kind of catching the air, floating about. Gentlemen, everybody give me a presence roll, please. We're going to need a presence roll, a D20.
I got a 15 with my bonus.
Cool. Good.
13.
Good.
5.
Okay. Daru, you're quite confused kind of what's happening. Your eyes still haven't adjusted yet. You kind of feel that your hearing is starting to defocus, almost like you're losing sense of kind of where you're at. Torval and Harleth, you hear faintly coming from perhaps somewhere beyond those two doors, this almost like low groaning, like a chant. It's rhythmic and low, and this deep rumble of like this kind of small choral of voices. You can't quite pick up on if it's left or right. You get the sense that it's coming from beyond wherever that space is.
Wow. It's like the sound of angels singing. I think I need to find more. When in situations when I'm like in this one, I typically go off to the left door, but if you guys want to go a different direction, that's fine, but left is usually best, is what they say.
Well, if you say so, there's strength in numbers. Blessed be the Grand Emperor, of course.
I don't care which way we go. I'm just going behind you guys. I can't see anything down here.
All right. Well, grab my hook and we'll go through the left.
Okay.
Oh, for throne's sake again.
So you guys are going to make your way. You could basically kind of jump over this little stream. It's only a few feet wide, essentially. The butterflies kind of part, and then once you guys jump over, they kind of go back and coalesce. You do see that on these iron doors, there is just a big sign of the Aquila. I mean, this is definitely an Imperium operation here. Nothing kind of decorative about anything inside, just this metal door on one side, another on the other side, the Aquila right in the center. Yeah. So you guys going to approach the door? What you going to do here?
Yeah, we're going to approach the door. We're going to do the left one, and as is tradition, throw that skull in the door.
Okay.
Okay. So as you kind of move this door open just slightly, enough for the skull to get thrown through, light starts to pour through. There's a a warm feeling coming from inside there. There's a rotten smell, but there's definitely more light within. You hear the skull kind of and stop, just kind of like it scrapes across the floor.
Small room, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll be the first that enters. Open up the door the rest of the way, see what I see, since I see in the dark.
Sure. Yeah. By this time, I would say, Daru, your eyes are starting to adjust a little bit. Your hearing's still kind of shit, but you guys are able to see when you walk into this room. It looks to be like a mess hall, like where your eatery kind of. There's a long metal table and about 20 metal chairs surrounding this area. At one end, there's a robed figure, not unsimilar to the one that you had seen before when you were manacled to the wall, the one that offered you the chance of redemption. He is appearing to be old, white, long beard. You see nothing but just kind of his gray, ashen face peering from beyond this dark red hood. The smell of rotted food emanates from here, but as you study the table, there's only empty placemats. There's empty dishes and plates. No food is visible at all, but it seems to be set up like this is where you would eat your maybe one single meal for the day if you had rations.
Would this be maybe like a good time to do a toughness test to resist any of these smells, or like how overwhelming are they? They're pretty.
It's
chill.
not like you're not retching. No, you've smelled worse in your life. You've definitely smelled worse.
I
in your
smell
life.
worse in my life.
Yeah. Daru smells worse than this.
Okay.
Torval takes his gas mask up to the food, just whiffs it.
It's not bad.
You do
Seems
see
good.
that there are two doors, though. So there is one at the far end of the room, basically opposite end of the door that you had opened, and on the wall to the right, in the almost corner area, there's another door leading to your right.
Well, I don't think we should split up, but let's just keep going left and left until we can't go left anymore, I say.
You don't want to talk to the guy standing and looking at us?
Not really. I forgot about him.
He
What about
pays
you,
no
Torval?
attention to you. He pays no attention to you.
You want to go talk to him, Torval?
Torval picks up Leonard, stares at the guy in the red hood, whispers to Leonard, and then he says,
Nah, he scared. He scares Leonard. No.
The man just stares down at the table, not moving, silent and still. How close are you, Torval? How close are you to him?
I'd say maybe 10, 15 feet.
Okay, so you're not like up near him.
No.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. He stares this dark red robe covering his features slightly. You
Hello?
can't even tell if he's breathing.
Hello there.
Does any of the empty place settings look valuable to me? Like
No.
silverware or anything
No,
like that?
it's scrap metal. It's very bare bones. No value is of anything in this room. Yeah.
Would I do like a presence test or anything to see if there's any of the rotten food that's suitable for any of my future concoctions?
You look around and don't see any food whatsoever. Yeah, there's no food at this table.
Well, shit, that's the corpse then. I'm just gonna go right up to what I'm assuming is a corpse now at this point, and kind of just push it over.
Okay. He kind of he goes with your push, and then he starts to straighten up a little bit, turns and looks at you, and smiles, but is missing all of his teeth.
I sense Court has been here already.
He just kind of gumly smiles at you, and you notice that kind of hidden under his cloak, he has no arms. His arms have been severed, and there seems to be what would have been some sort of biomechanical implants on the shoulders, but his arms are missing completely.
Figured
And
try out my biomechanical arms.
he goes right back to staring at the table.
But Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no arms.
This guy's giving me the creeps. Let's get out of here, I think. Keep moving on. This guy has nothing to do with no cult stuff. Yikes.
Upon further study, when you guys kind of pass by him, you notice that his legs are completely gone, and he has what looks to be small tank treads connected to a lower half of like some sort of mobile device.
Well, that's just the creepiest shit you ever seen.
The fucking chat is going off, and I love this. You guys are so funny. We haven't acknowledged the chat yet in this, and it's going so well. I'm so excited. There's a lot of teeth jokes. It's great. Liar says clearly he's armless. Like it says, you guys are so good.
God, it's Abaddon!
Big shout out to the chat. I love it. So guys, chat, please keep it coming, commenting on this. This is great. Yes. So, okay. You do notice that he's, I'll put in air quotes, human, or at least once was, and has been, altered, or if not upgraded with some mechanical aspects, but he pays you no attention.
I really don't like that. Does he have anything valuable on him?
You gonna search him?
I'm not going anywhere near that creepy ass thing. But...
And you wouldn't know,
obviously. All right. Well, I'm good to get out of here. He's no help. Can I shout at him and say, "Hey, we're looking for what are we looking for? Daxon
Carr."
Mm-hmm. So you shout at him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like as if he's deaf. Like I'm trying to communicate with.
Nothing. He pays you no mind. You do hear just very quickly some sort of shuffling from the door, coming from beyond the door to your right when you entered. So when you entered in, there was that door at the right corner, kind of just where the man was seated. You hear some sort of just maybe some discussion, some shuffling, and then kicking open that door bursts forth, slamming into the wall on the other side, metal clanging against stone. And you see, let's make a little roll ski here for myself. Okay. You see two, what look to be, very ragged, possibly mine workers. They have very bare bones, if you could call it some sort of makeshift armor, as if they've taken metal and ripped it off of door frames, metal ripped it off of tables or some sort of computer processing units, and kind of banded them together across their chests. They burst in, and you see two of them ready to go, and they've got, one appears to have like some sort of like jagged makeshift rusty knife, and the other has what looks like almost a table leg that's been like bent into a makeshift axe. And they burst forth after hearing you yell, and they say, "What are you doing here? Who sent you?"
We're just looking.
Daxon Carr. I just start yelling, "Daxon Carr."
What do you know of Daxon?
We were sent to find him.
For what?
My weapon cautiously to my side.
Okay.
We were just looking to get in touch.
And they look to each other almost like as if you just said a joke. They say, "Get in touch." Yes, that's what we've done. We've gotten in touch. What do you need?
I start backing away.
Okay. And he looks, the one with the kind of bent makeshift axe looks at Torval and looks at your skull and kind of just, he actually is going to point his his makeshift weapon in your direction and say, "What the fuck is that?"
This is my friend Leonard. He's joining me. Do not mess with him.
Whom does Leonard serve?
Blessed be the Grand Emperor.
And at that, they both lunge at you. Let's see.
Hottie said Leonard is his lover, and I can only imagine the spell fucking that happens at night between the two.
Oh no.
Oh, poor Gerald.
Oh, but okay. So
Oh man.
I'm gonna call him Knife Guard. There's gonna be Knife Guard and Axe Guard. So the Knife Guard's gonna go for Dayru. He's gonna just go ahead and hold his knife up as if he's going to stab you. He's aiming right for your chest. Dayru, go ahead and give me an agility roll. And so this is how combat's gonna work. He's going to try and hit you. You're gonna dodge out of the way. We'll see if you're successful.
Okay, and I have an agility -1, and my roll is 19.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, you see the attack coming, you sidestep it and get out of the way completely, and he just whoosh, misses you. The other is going to take a big swing at Torval, and as he does, he's screaming what you can only make out to be false emperor, and he swings and goes for your gut. Torval, go ahead and give me an agility roll.
Okay. Ooh, 11.
Oh man. Okay. Yep. You're going to go ahead and take this makeshift axe right in the gut. Give me an armor roll. So you should be deducing some of this damage by whatever your armor is.
So it's what, another 1d20?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 14.
Well, is that
with-
what is your armor? You should have a
minus
D2. Okay. So yeah. What did you get on your D20?
What did I just say?
14.
14.
Okay, so we'll say 11 through 20 would be 2, and then 1 through 10 would be a 1. So you did successfully take -2 from, and I rolled a 2. So you actually take no damage. It's going to hit you in the gut, but your padded cloth armor is going to stop and absorb this hit. Yeah. So then let's go to Harleth with a little bit of an action here.
I will lunge at whoever's closest to me with a hook hand and a trench shovel in my other hand.
Okay. Are you going for the hook? Kind of the.
I think I would use the shovel is my primary weapon. My left hand is my hook hand and my offhand. So.
Okay.
Shovel.
Cool. So shovel it is. You make a swing. Go for it. You're going to do a strength test for me.
So I rolled a 1 + 1, but I rolled a 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here. Let's.
Glad I didn't use my fireball. Fuck.
Yeah. So on a nat 1, which would be basically just a total bungle, it's a fumble. You're going to let's see.
We're gonna die.
So you go for the one that Torval was kind of fighting with, and you've got your shovel. As you kind of make your way down, and your arm comes down to your elbow, almost like this hacking motion, your grip just slips, and the shovel goes flying across the room and hits the other wall.
Yeah.
It almost looks like you were trying to throw this thing.
Well, that was my turn.
Okay. Let's go to Daru.
All right. I whip out my femur that's been sharpened into a shiv. So it's a decent sized shiv. You know, femurs are pretty strong and large.
Mhm.
And I go for the throat of the guy who just tried to stab me.
Cool. Yeah, he's kind of off balance a little bit.
Yeah.
You're going to take this makeshift bone stabber and just go for him in the throat.
So my femur weapon has D4 damage, and I have strength 0. I'm going to roll a 9.
9. Okay. Yeah, you just barely miss. The action just kind of goes with his motion, and you're just able to just miss his neck completely.
We're dancing more than fighting.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a dance, a little bit of a twirl. You do notice that upon kind of him motioning, he grits his teeth, and he does have all of his pearly white teeth. Yes.
I will make a mental note of that.
Yes. Torval, let's go to you. We're kind of going fun out of order, but we're going to do things the way I want to do things.
My stomach hurts, but I take a chain that I picked up from the guard since he forgot to take me off my chain from the frigate. I wrap it
cool.
around the makeshift axe to wrench it away, and then I reach into my apron and grab an industrial wrench and just try to cock the guy upside the head.
Okay, so yeah, you're going to take a swing. Go ahead and do a strength test for me.
Alrighty. Okay. Ooh, 9.
9. Okay, yeah, it's a swing and a miss. That you guys can't seem to swing and get them. The motion of him going at you again is a little bit of a dance now. You guys are just twirling around each other. The one on Dayru is kind of past you now, and he's actually going to try and stab Harleth. So he's got the knife. He's going to stab Harleth. Harleth, go ahead and give me an agility roll.
All right, I rolled a 1. Come at me, yo.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a hermit, not a fighter.
Well, let's see how much. What's your armor?
2.
Okay. Fuck me. All right. Do you have to roll for it? D2?
Minus D2, yeah.
So go ahead and roll a low or high and see if you can absorb 1 or 2 of that.
I rolled a 2, so another. I rolled a D4 and I rolled a 2, so it's a 1.
Okay. Because you fumbled, you're going to take a multitude of 2 damage. Multiplied by 2. You're going to take twice the damage. Jeez, I can't speak. You're going to take twice the damage, which is going to be 6 in total. So minus your 2 will be 4. So you're going to take 4 damage. He stabs you, gets you kind of right in the side, and wrenches his rusty knife in there.
I'm at -1 now.
You're at -1. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember,
my cockroach skitters out of my pocket and leaves me.
Here's the thing. One thing we did not mention this. God, the chat's fucking awesome. I love this. We did not mention this to our listeners or viewers that each player has been given a certain number of what we call blessings of the Emperor. For those who play Mork Borg, that is an omen. So what these can be used for is you can spend them, and they will allow you to alter certain roles or kind of give you a second chance. So, Mark, this might be a good time. You have the options to spend a blessing of the Emperor to do one of 5 things. 1, deal maximum damage with 1 attack, re-roll a dice, or re-roll somebody else's. You may lower damage dealt to you by D6. You can neutralize a crit or a fumble, or you could lower your test difficulty rating by -4.
I'm gonna neutralize the crit or the fumble, and then that'll to me, and then
cool. So neutralize the fumble. So you are taking one of the blessings of the Emperor away. You can go ahead and mark that off on your sheet if you'd like. But essentially, you, instead of taking the 6 damage, will take 3 with the -1. So you only take 2 damage total.
I'm alive.
Yeah, you're alive. See, the Emperor has shined. Yes, you get this sense of just this holiness that has been bestowed upon you. The Emperor has looked upon you with favor today.
I should get stabbed more often.
All right. The other one is going to go and take another swing at Torval, and we're going to see if you can dodge it. Give me an agility roll, please.
6.
6. He's gonna hit you again. Let's see how much. All right, what does your armor do? Minus D2?
Minus D2, yeah.
Okay, give me the roll.
All right. 5.
Okay, so that'd be low, so it'd be 1. You will only take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
Yep. So hits you again. He kind of just, he got you on the gut this time. Just, knocks the wind out of you a little bit. Yeah. You guys start to notice that like the smell of rotten food is probably coming from these guys. They smell really bad. They smell like putrid stink, their own shit and piss, and something you can't quite place that smells almost like sulfuric. Okay.
Reminds me of my grandma. I love the chat right now. They think Harleth is a saint because I've just been blessed by the Emperor. So Harleth, the Hermit, the Saint. Yeah,
there we go. All right. Cool. All right. Let's see. Daru, are we going to you? Okay.
I don't know how to go yet. All right. I'm looking at the situation. I'm getting a little panicky. I see, I wouldn't call them friends, but the other two unfortunate wretches' souls in my party getting their asses kicked. I'm not doing a lot of good. In my desperation, I reach into my cloak and pull out an unclean scroll. 9 blue signs unknot the storm is written across it.
Ooh, wait, say that again. Let's say it a little slower and tell us what it's called.
9 blue signs unknot the storm.
Okay.
And
only good can come of this. Let's find out.
I use it to try to blast those two guys with what I assume is lightning bolts.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going to go ahead and roll. Let's do. Does it tell you what to roll for the unclean scroll?
D2 lightning bolts dealing D6 damage each.
Go ahead and give me a presence roll for that.
All right, and my presence is 0, and I will roll 17.
Okay, awesome. You undo this scroll with great speed, and your mind begins to focus on these letters and runes that don't make any sense, but they start to coalesce and click inside your mind, and you become completely cognizant of these words that you're speaking that make no sense whatsoever. It's a language you couldn't even understand. But then it shoots forth lightning from your eyes, your hands, and your mouth towards the 2 targets. Yeah. So how much does it do? How much damage?
Where did it go? Produce D2 lightning bolts dealing D6 damage each.
Wow. Go ahead and roll those. So we're going to roll first the D6 for the one that was attacking you, Daru, and then a D6 for Torval's enemy.
All right. I got a 6 and a 2.
Ooh, okay. 6. Yeah. So they both kind of just get electrocuted, and they start gritting their mouth, and you can see blood is starting to come out from the corners of their mouth. They do have their teeth, just for
to reiterate.
To reiterate, they do have all of their teeth. They're not pearly white. They're pretty gross, but blood starts to come out of their mouth here. The first one is going to hit the ground, the one that took the 6 damage, and he is going to just lay there, almost unconscious. The next one is going to... he's going to fucking run away. So after kind of this jolt, he's going to just scatter and turn tail, and he's going to book it out the door that you guys came from.
Can I throw Leonard at his head to keep him from running?
Give me a presence roll. You're going to throw it right at his head.
Leonard, attack!
Leonard, I choose you. 14.
Leonard.
Boom! You smack him right in the back of the head. Yep, 100%. This skull hits skull. Wham. Let's say Leonard does let's say Leonard does D2 damage. So go ahead and give me a low high roll.
A low high roll.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
So
Just
you
the
can roll
number.
any dice, and if the result is the lower half, we'll say it's 1. If it's high,
Okay.
we'll say it's 2. Mhm.
Okay. Roll 1d20. Okay. A 1.
Okay, he's going to take 1 damage. As Leonard the skull hits the back of this guy's skull, he like falls through the Aquila framed door that you guys came through, and you can hear him hit the floor on the other side. But he's definitely scrambling to get up. Harleth, go ahead and give me something.
What are the chances the way I threw my shovel and the direction of the guy who ran are the same direction? Because if they all run and grab the shovel, if not, I'll just run at the guy.
So you would have thrown it across the room. Let's say, so you entered the room going south to north. You would have thrown it west to east, so it was on the other side. He's running south. So I'd say you'd probably get a chance to go get your shovel. He might be out the door by the time you pick it up.
Yeah, no. If it wasn't like right there, I wouldn't have even bothered looking for it. Like,
that's about 10 feet away.
So I run towards the door and hook right in the guy's back. Yeah.
All right. You kind of let's see if you can stop him. Give me an agility test.
Okay, so I rolled a 9 plus 1, so only a 10.
What you got?
Well, I would re-roll that to make it a killing blow with a blessing of the Emperor.
You want to do it?
Yeah. So lower damage. I guess it would be a re-roll is what I would want to do.
Okay.
How many do you have, Mark?
I have 3.
Holy crap. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, and this time I rolled an 18.
Yeah. So he goes, the skull hits him, and as he's about to kind of fall through this door, your hook lands right on his shoulder and yanks him back. And he falls to the floor, head cracked open, and he's just bleeding everywhere. Unconscious, dead, basically. Yeah. Gone. The lights of his eyes are gone.
I'll pick up the skull, brush it off, and hand it back to Torval. Nice throw.
Thank you kindly.
And then I take Leonard back.
Cool.
And check and make sure all his teeth are still there.
Has he got any like gold ones or anything neat like that, or missing any, or it's a full?
So upon inspection, you notice that he definitely has. Oh, wait, are you talking about Torval, or are you talking about the
skull?
I'm not going to say that. That's all Torval. He can answer.
Okay. It's just regular teeth. Just regular teeth.
It's just a normal skull. Okay.
Yeah, just a normal skull. Nothing
weird about it.
Nothing weird about it at all.
Awesome. Now that the room has grown a little bit more silent, the one refinery worker is still on the ground. He is breathing, but it's labored breathing, and he's almost has like smoke emanating from him. Like this lightning just took its toll for sure. You do hear that low rumbling chanting. Daru, you hearing this for the kind of like the first time? You're hearing this low chant, like this rhythmic pulse of like a choral of voices. And it's coming from the far north, it seems like.
Okay. Torval, you want to tie this guy up with your chain and we can maybe ask him some questions?
Yes, I agree with this.
Torval takes his chain and chains the guy together.
Cool. All the while that old grade man, the kind of half mech, is still just sitting there staring at the table. Every now and
pause for a second. Torval stares at the man with no teeth, looks at the newly dead guy with his teeth, takes the wrench, right across the mouth, picks up the teeth, hands it to the robot guy.
Okay, you put it on like the plate in front of him, perhaps.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, because he's got no
He's got
arms.
no hands.
He slowly bends down and opens his mouth and starts to kind of like suck on the tooth and puts it in his mouth and swallows it.
Court, we don't need to know your fetishes now. We don't need to be involved in
that one was for the chat. That one's for the chat. And he just looks at you and smiles, and then goes back to staring at the plate. Are you guys going to chain up the guard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I will. I also have on my person a toolbox, and I will pull out the tongs and the hammer menacingly for when he wakes up.
Okay. Yeah. So are you guys like chaining him to a chair?
Yes.
Okay. From his pocket falls a large flashlight. I would say Daru or Torval can snag that, whoever wants it. Whoever's doing the chaining. Okay. Yep. So now you've got a flashlight. On his person is really nothing else. It looks like some shit, maybe literal, went down, and he does have an ID number across his kind of worker's vest, and just a random assortment of 7 digits. He's covered in dirt. He's definitely shit himself. He smells like piss. He smells very sulfuric as well. On part of his clothing, you can see that there's like this really dark green. I hesitate to call it liquid. It's almost like this viscous kind of jelly-like slime, almost just kind of in splotches on his shoulders. Yeah, he is unconscious completely. Fucking liar! You are killing me in the best way possible. The comments coming from Liar in the chat is gold.
Mhm.
So
He's a worker. That's why his breath is labored.
oh my
Should let
gosh.
the dungeon daddy read that dad joke, but whatever.
He said earlier, where's the teeth? He said, teeth, it's what's for dinner.
I got another comment from Looper Cow. Smells like piss because he just came from the Vespid planet. Oh, man.
Jack's Carnage. To summarize, criminals go to bunker. Bunker has cultists. MCs beat cultists. One becomes a saint, and another feeds teeth to a man. Just another day in the Imperium. Yes. Oh, so good. Okay. Yeah, he's just unconscious completely, like chained up, not moving.
Okay. Can I tap him on the face with my hammer to see if I can rouse him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
he kind of he shudders a little bit and moves, and is still just kind of asleep.
While Daru's doing this, Torval's just taking like a little instrument and just like wiping some of that goo off of his shoulder, puts it in an empty flask in his vial, and then puts it in his med kit.
Noted. Okay. Cool.
Well, this guy looks cooked. I wonder if this would be enough evidence that something horrible has gone wrong here. This guy doesn't look all like he looks worse than us, and we're the dredges of society. This guy, who's he? I think we take him back and call her a day. Do you think it'll be enough, boy?
Upon hearing your voice, he jolts up and starts like trying to bust out of his chains, and he's just screaming. He is screaming in Harleth's face.
I'll jam my hammer in his mouth to shut him up.
Now listen here, you little shit. The 3 of us are gonna do unspeakable things to you if you don't tell us what we want to know.
Were we the bad guys the whole time? These were just innocent
Look around
workers
the
in
group.
Imperium.
Oh, we have an emperor that's a corpse, and we have skulls everywhere. Are we the baddies?
After you say that, Harleth, you hear a small melody coming from nowhere. Da da dun dun dun. It sounds like a banjo. That's it. No, that's out of game. That's out of game. I just had to do that. It's out of game, but perfect. So he's starting to calm down a little bit. He's screaming, but that hammer is in his mouth that you've placed, and he's just looking at you wide-eyed, completely, almost like he's just fucking hopped up on something.
I'll take my hammer out of his mouth so he can talk if he's suitably calm and not screaming again.
Yeah, he kind of nods at you like he gets the gist of what's going to happen. He looks at Harleth with fear, though. Like he's looking at Harleth like terrified. Yeah. And he just kind of starts muttering, and he says, Daxon and the Father. The Father is good to us, Daxon and the Father. We found it. We found it. We found it. And he just stares at you.
What did you find?
It called to us. We found it. It was sleeping. And now it promises. Yes, it promises. And we will be rewarded. All the things. Yes. Daxon shows the way. He's shown the way. And the Father is good to him. And the Father will be good to us.
And where is Daxon?
Daxon, he's everywhere. He sees you. Yes. High up above, he sees you. Yes. Go see him. He will smile upon you and greet you with open arms. Yes, he will.
Well, that's good advice. We will go see him.
Where
Thank
is
you
he?
for telling us. Now we don't have to do unspeakable things. I really didn't want to, but
yes. I am waiting the gifts. The Father has promised. I hear him. Don't you hear him? And he kind of like looks upwards, and that chanting kind of grows a little bit louder. And he motions to the door behind him, which would be the one on the east wall. He kind of like looks back there and says, yes, the Father and Daxon. Yes, a dynamic duo. They will be, and I will be. We all will be.
this guy is giving me the creeps. Someone
Me
shut
too.
him up.
Hold on. Torval is gonna make another concoction, and I will reveal it if it is a success.
Okay.
And if it's not, you'll pretend it never happened. Just make it
Exactly.
fun in the corner.
All right. 13.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I do
He-
this
as
concoction.
As you do this, he's looking at you with great curiosity, like he's excited to see what you're brewing up.
You talk about the gifts of the Father. Well, I have a gift for you.
And then I empty the vial and just jam it down his throat. And I gave him a southern frog stew.
Okay. What does Southern Frog Stew do?
Vomit for D4 hours, pass the DR14 test, or you can do nothing else.
Okay.
That's just rude.
All right. I'm gonna do. Let's do a DR14 test on a D20. I'm gonna roll. Let's see what we get. I got a fucking 12. So no, he is going to, as soon as he like drink, you're gonna shove this in his mouth, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, so he just kind of laps it up. He's like super excited. You get the sense that like
Or please.
this guy has not had any sort of food or drink in maybe a couple days. He just gulps it down and looks at you wide-eyed, and then stops for a moment, looks at Harleth, looks at Daru, and just projectile vomits everywhere. I mean, there is not much in his system, but he is still going. Like it turns to blood. He is vomiting up everything that would be in his gut for the past 24 to 48 hours. You see little bits of like fingernails coming out of there. There's chunks of what look to be kind of flesh. It is just horrible. Yeah,
He kind of snickers to himself, just wipes his hands clean, grabs Leonard's, and walks towards the direction we were told to go.
I'll follow him. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and this guy is just all he's doing is chained up and in this chair against a wall, head down, just horrible. Oh man, that was so good.
4 hours.
Oh, hold on. Let's see here. Just 1d4. He's gonna be doing that for 3 hours straight.
Excellent.
Yep. Okay.
Before we leave the room, can I just snag that makeshift axe that one of those guys had?
Yes, you absolutely can.
I'm just gonna grab that and tuck it away.
Harleth, there would have been that knife kind of nearby you from the one that stabbed you if you want to take it.
No, and even my shovel at this point, I forgot about it. I'm not very attached to items as a hermit.
Okay.
I will scoop up that shovel.
When you guys are picking up your items, you notice under the table, you start to see that there was a little bit of debris and maybe even some bones left underneath. It essentially looks like they had tried to hide some remains underneath this table.
Well, there's only one thing to do in this situation. I look at the skull. Look at the pile.
Chucks it at the pile.
What do you see, Leonard?
He's home.
You kind of roll it underneath the table, and it hits just like a pile of what now you hear to be bones, kind of the skull against the bones rattling, and
The rattle of bones.
and clothing. So it looks like kind of the same clothing that the other two quote unquote guards had, basically like a big jumpsuit, kind of like a zip up jumpsuit, a worker's suit. Tattered though, like shredded.
I think they've been eating people down here. Can I look at the clothes and see if there's, or like the bones maybe, and see if there's like human bite marks on it or anything?
So you look at them and absolutely there looks to be some like gnaw marks on the bones, and there's little bits of bristle
I've seen
left.
this many times before, even partook a few times, but that's an eaten human.
And so coveralls, yes, Grimaldus, thank you. It's coveralls that you kind of see, and again, there's a bar-coded number, 7 digits, but these have been kind of shredded and torn in different pieces. Not a gimp suit, liar. Not a gimp suit.
Maybe that guy we ran into at the table, that's his gimp suit. Maybe that's one. But yeah, I think we just keep going down. We follow the chance.
Okay. So remember, there was 2 doors. So if you face east, there will be the door in the corner, which is where the guards burst through. If you're facing north, there is a door in that kind of northwest corner that is closed. You're not sure if it's locked or unlocked, though. But the door that they burst through is ajar. It is basically hit the wall on the other side and swung back, so it's about 45-degree angle.
Is that where the chanting's coming from?
You get the sense that it's just kind of almost all around you. It's coming farther north. It's not loud by any means, but it's when you stop talking, you can kind of hear it. But it seems to be like rumbling farther north into this refinery.
Yeah. Crack that door open. Let's head on in.
Okay. So you guys are going into the door that the guards burst through?
Yeah.
Okay. So you swing it open. There's a rotten stench, not as bold as what you'd smelt on the guards themselves. But this room is quite hot. You get the sense that there's some sort of heating element now coming from kind of farther northwest, and this room really is just maybe just centralized below it or something like that. That that chanting, that just low rumble, seems to grow and get a little bit louder. This would be kind of the stationary, what you would call like. Actually, let me just double check. I'm sure we're doing this right. Yeah. So this is kind of where the refinery workers would get all of their coveralls, their sign-in sheets for any sort of work notes, gear. There's like lockers that are set there as well. You do see that there's just a solemn wooden table on the far wall with 2 chairs. And to the north, so as you walk into the left, there is another iron door. Again, with the Aquila right on the center. Beneath that, you do see the number 31 beneath the Aquila, like a spray painted stencil in white. There is a warm LED light coming from above, looks like panel lighting. And you're coming in from the west. To the south, there is another heavy door marked with the Aquila as well.
I just start rummaging through the lockers to look for anything valuable.
Okay, give me
any that are unlocked or. Yeah.
There's a handful that are open. I would say you can kind of just prime open. Give me a D6 roll.
5.
Ooh, give me another D6 roll.
2.
2, you find a sacred scroll. So you see in this locker there is like a wooden cylinder cupped by kind of 2 gold ends, and almost like this beautiful, elaborate kind of woodwork. And you kind of open it up a little bit, and you can see that when you pull one of the ends, this parchment it lies within. And you're going to get, let's find out what kind of sacred scroll you get. Give me a 1 through 10 roll, a D10.
5.
5. Well, a lot of 5s we're rolling. Okay. You're going to get unmet fate. Unmet fate. Chat, this is where I need you guys. So chat, get ready. You're going to respond to this, okay? Do you think I should tell Deru what unmet fate does, or leave it a secret and he can try and kind of cast this quote-unquote spell and see what happens?
Oh, boy.
So
Yeah.
chat, yes, tell him. No, keep it a secret. So respond to me. Yes, tell Deru. No, leave it a surprise. Leave it a surprise. Okay.
I think so too, man. Like,
Leave it a surprise.
I don't
Yep.
think Christian's character is very educated to know what the
No.
fuck he's dealing with.
No. It just looks valuable, so I'm going to pocket that away for sure, but I don't know what it is.
On this, you do see that there is the mark of the Aquila along the cylinder. And when you pull the parchment out, there's almost like this golden glow. Like, if we can just outside game it here, almost think of like Marcellus Wallace's briefcase in
yeah.
Pulp Fiction, a little bit like that. Okay. And it is called Unmet Fate. Unmet Fate. Okay. All right.
I will
You have
infer
that.
what it does from the title.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So,
Just
and
'cause it
Jack, sorry, Jax brings up a point, like, he's Hive City scum. How would he know? Absolutely. And he wouldn't know. And here's the thing with what we're doing tonight, like, there's going to be a lot of things that are probably not very canon in the 40K universe. There's going to be a lot of weird shit. Like, Harleth is kind of technically a saint right now at this point. So
Don't you
we're
forget
just
it.
going to roll with it and see what happens. So yeah, you've got this scroll on you now, Deru.
Yep, perfect. And just because the chat brought it up, I am gonna, if time permits, like if we're moving quick, if it's gonna take too long, I would like to lock pick whatever else. But if like we're just moving through the room, I'm just rummaging through what I can grab in plain sight and moving on.
What are you guys doing, Torval and Harleth?
How is Harleth on his health? Just as a refresher.
I have 1 of 3.
Yeah, you're bleeding pretty good. I would say you're bleeding pretty good.
Yeah. I think I would maybe
All
take
right.
a moment and heal myself. I do have healing kit, but maybe Gerald do have something better. Or
I was gonna say I can make a elixir vitalis, which heals D6 HP and stops infection, but can be habit forming. Parentheses. So
I'm already hooked. Sounds
It's
great.
morphine.
So,
Hook it up.
with the, are we talking about brewing some stuff there, Torval?
yes.
Okay, so technically you do have only kind of 2
Oh,
that you can brew daily, unless you're able to collect some
Okay.
more ingredients. And these would be random, but I kind of like the choice that you know what you're doing. We're gonna brew some stuff. At some point, I may say let's give it a random roll to see what you kind of brew up. But
Okay.
yeah, I'd say let's do this for the next. Unless you pick up some other kind of random ingredients, you won't be able to brew anything else. You
Okay.
do have that new little bit of green substance that was on that guy's shoulder, but you're not sure what it does. So if you were to brew with that, I would say it would be a random roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a healing kit, so I'll just use that instead.
Okay. So we'll
Okay.
let's just do that then.
Okay. So Harleth, you're using what, like a med kit?
Yeah, it's a rusted med kit, heals D4 damage, and I rolled a 3, so I'm back up to 3.
What would happen if you rolled a 1?
Yeah, botched job. Maybe that's like
Infection.
What does it
Yeah.
say? What does the med kit say?
2 uses, heals D4 damage, but has a 1 in 4 chance it causes D4 damage.
So if you
yeah.
if you rolled a 1, that's where that would have been like you
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
how to operate on yourself, and it would have like given you tetanus or something.
Yeah.
We would have
So good-
gone straight from 40K to an episode of Happy Tree Friends.
Yes, yeah. Okay, cool. So you're healed up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Torval, so Harleth is healing. Dayru's going through the lockers. Torval, what are you doing?
Let's see here. Well, I just realized I went ahead and brewed 2 brews already, so I'm
Mhm.
just gonna look around, see if there's anything I could find to make more brews.
Sure. So you're going to ransack the room a little bit. Give me a D6 roll, please.
Okay. 1.
1. Upon further inspection, you find more bony remains. This one seems quite different, though. It seems very canine. In fact, you kind of gather that this might have been somebody's dog.
They're eating
Their skull
the dog,
is
eating
their
the
skull is
cat.
very different. Yeah. There's still some meat left on these bones, though, and it's not rotten. Seems a little fresh.
I take it, collect the fresh meat, put it in a vial, and then stow
Cool.
it in my little kit.
Okay. Give me another D6 roll, please.
Okay. 6.
Oh, awesome. In one of kind of the lower lockers, you find a flare gun, and you find. Let's do a roll here. You find 2 flares. You find a flare gun and 2 flares. Okay. Awesome. All right. What are you guys doing?
Next room, I suppose. Everyone all good? You're done your rummaging. I put this Band-Aid on, and I don't know, you're messing around with some meat there, Torval?
So
Or something?
this room, you guys walked in from the west, so you come in. There's a door to your left, big iron door with the Aquila, and it says 31 spray painted in stencil just below it. To the right is another big iron door with the Aquila. Your senses kind of map this place out to be the room to the right. That door that would lead to a room to the right would be basically equal to where you walked in to the dining room. So it would kind of be the when you walked in the bottom landing, there was the 2 doors. This would be the door on the right, probably lead to that. You're kind of starting to map out the location. You're muted there, Harleth.
There's a 31 spray painted on that door. Let's just keep following the number, I suppose.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
And we cock the door open a little bit and peek our head inside.
All right. So you open it up. It opens without any sort of lock at all. Just you shove this thing forward. It's pretty heavy. It swings inward, and it opens up to a second set of kind of stationary, like almost like a makeshift meeting room. You see a big table there. There's more lockers. And as you walk in on the right, there's a big, large screen, big paneled screen. And it has just an array of buttons and knobs and things just below it. To the left, you do see a black door, no Aquila, with a huge latch, kind of like one of the, like what you would see, like a locking mechanism that slides in place and slid over, locked.
Is that locking, like, am I the one who locks it, or is it locking from the other side?
You're
Can I
the one
tell?
who locks it.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Well, either of you guys know how to use one of those computers? Maybe you can download something on some... I don't know. I've never used one, but look at that thing over there. And I pointed to all the monitors and stuff. There has to be some cameras or something we can take back as some sort of evidence. There's cannibals here, and I don't want to drag a corpse back.
The screen emits no light. It is black. And yeah, there's just hundreds of buttons and knobs and smaller little screens on a panel below it.
What the hell is it all? Either of you guys know?
No, I try to stay away from tech. I don't trust it.
Okay.
Please.
Well, more of the pen and paper folk here, I suppose. Let's carry on through that locked door that's unlocked. Keep going deeper till we find something.
Wait. They said they woke something up. What do you think that is?
Maybe they woke Daxton up and he's pissed and now eating people. I don't know. What do you think?
Something smells fishy, and I'm not talking about the stench in the room.
Everybody give me a presence roll right now.
Okay.
Presence check.
13.
Ooh.
Nice.
17.
Nice.
Ooh.
2.
Okay. Harleth, Torval, you hear coming from the bar door what kind of sounds like muffled cries. This is different than that lower chanting, which has kind of subsided in this room a little bit. But there's these almost like wailing, like this soft, somber, like kind of like crying. Yeah. Think of like Dwight when Angela broke up with him and the storm is up. Kind of like that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. But it sounds like multiple voices.
I don't like it. What do you think they're doing down there? Do we dare check? Like, surely at this point we can tell people that there's something wrong. Or do we have to? I don't want to go down into dark no more. Don't make me. You're gonna make me.
Daru, you not hearing and not focusing on the door that they're kind of looking at, just I'm going to say that you're glancing a little bit, and you do see that above there is a hatch. There seems to be a about 8 foot by 8 foot square in the ceiling above, and it's got two kind of like handles that look like they can turn clockwise or counterclockwise.
One of you guys want to give me a boost?
Sure.
Okay. I position him so that he's standing in front of them and get him to boost me up there to try and open that latch.
Sure. Give me a strength check. Both of you, actually.
Both. Strength is a 0, and I have 17.
Whoa! Okay. All right. Yep. You kind of boost him up there, Torval, and Daru. You're able to grab on, and you see that moving one way doesn't do anything, but you and it unlocks, and basically this kind of circle within this squared hatch now pulls down, and you can smell this sulfur smell that you kind of smelled on those guards creeping in a little bit more, and almost this noxious gas kind of just comes out like it was building from there. You're taken aback by it a little bit, but it's nothing that would kind of like throw you off guard completely. But now you're holding this hatch door. And Harleth, you're seeing this, but you hear the and you hear 2 words: help us.
Oh,
Go ahead.
God. They're doing something to them. We gotta well, to be honest, I don't care what happens to them. I'm just trying to, find evidence. But maybe we should go find them. Do we want to go up in this hatch? Do you think you can get up there? What's up there? Poke your head in there. Tell me what you see.
Can I? Is it big enough for me to squirrel my way in there and see anything?
Yeah. So you're kind of able to, if you're putting the hatch down on the floor, I'm assuming you're going to kind of toss it.
Yeah.
Okay. Toss it down. Yeah. You're able to reach up, and you see that there's actually like a ladder, almost like this cylindrical ladder that you could pull down completely and have it touch the floor. It's red. Yeah.
I'll do that then.
Okay. Yeah. It like unhooks and then slides down and slams into the ground, onto the stone floor beneath you. Yeah. And it just reaches up completely to what looks to be this crawl space.
All right. I will shine my new flashlight in there.
You see that it is about 10 feet of ladder, this red ladder that goes through. Think of like a ventilation shaft, but a little bit like cleaner and more sturdy. Like this is kind of a hatchway to another part of the refinery, just like an operational thing. Okay. Yeah, and you see that there is another hatch that's been opened and is kind of like slid up on the floor above you. So there's an opening.
Take a peek.
You're going to crawl all the way up there by yourself?
Provided I don't see anything that causes me concern with my flashlight.
You can't really tell. The room is dark above there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll crawl up there and take a peek.
Okay. You're crawling up. Torval, Harleth, while he's doing this, are you guys doing anything specifically?
Just kind of standing at the bottom of the ladder, just kind of waiting, like, what do you see? Kind of
waiting
thing.
for the screams.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you're still hearing that, like, help, help, coming from the other side of that door. Daru climbs up, and once you reach the top, are you peeking your head up? How are you kind of opening this?
Yeah, I'm going to do it as stealthily as possible and quietly as possible so as not to alert anyone maybe in the other room or on the other side of that vent. And I do have a stealth ability. All presence and agility tests have their DR reduced by 2. Normal tests are DR 10 instead of DR 12.
Okay.
So just as stealthily as possible.
Sure. Yeah, you just kind of even like lift up the hatch above you so it's not
Yeah.
dragging
Just-
across.
Exactly. Just enough to take a look in the room.
Cool. Yeah. So you just peek your eyes up a little bit. You notice it's quite warm. Like the heat is starting to get to you. You're sweating now. That sulfuric smell is just ever present. But as soon as you kind of peek your eyes up and where your ears meet the floor, it's just silence. Nothing can be heard when you peek your head up above that floor. Like you have to check your ears for a moment. Like all sound and noise just goes away completely. When you shine your flashlight up, you see a series of chains, 8 feet dangling from the ceiling, meeting about halfway down, and they're just kind of swaying. No noise is happening, but these black and slightly rusted chains with hooks on the bottom seem to just be swaying in the air.
Is anything hanging on those hooks? Like
Uh,
people?
Tell me how much you're peeking out and like looking around.
Just the minimum exposure to myself as possible.
Okay. So you pop up and you're just kind of peering around. I'm a la like Hicks in Aliens coming up the top, kind of like looking through the ducts. Yeah, so you see about 12 of these hook chains spaced out, bolted into the ceiling. Definitely not part of the original structure of this room. Makeshift bolted in there. And there seems to be blood streaked across the floor. Some of these chains are dripping blood, or what looks to be some sort of black viscous liquid. Again, as you take glance of all this, there is no sound. You see this liquid dripping from chains and hitting the floor. No sound. You see the rattling of these swaying iron chains and hooks. No sound. It chills you to your bone. Despite you sweating and this heat and this sulfuric smell, your sense of hearing is completely gone.
I'm gonna crawl back down to the rest of the group and saying we should go.
You do see when you pan down though, there, or kind of getting the idea of the room. When you come up, the end of the room is just behind you, and it opens up as you kind of turn to your left, and you see that there is a big stone archway, beautifully ornate. It's these massive stones that have been carved perhaps by hand, this archway that leads into darkness.
Yeah, I'm gonna crawl back down.
Okay. All right. As he's doing this, Harleth Torval, as he's kind of like searching and stuff, what are you guys doing?
Are we still hearing that moaning?
Yes, you are.
Down
Yeah.
the door.
Oh, please help us.
Hmm.
Do you want to inspect the door?
Okay, I'll do it this time. I'll walk over to that latch door, poke my head inside.
Okay, so you slide the latch open.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you kind of do that, you see once again it's marked with the Aquila. This is beautifully ornate. This sliding lock structure, and it opens up, and you pull open the door, and again, this stench of death and decay reaches both of your nostrils. The moaning, it opens up in your ears. Whoa, oh God. And it gets more excited. Like you kind of hear this rustling of chains, and this excitement and almost like weeping. And you hear, save us. And it opens up. And what you can see is kind of a narrow corridor and some sort of mass in the middle. but you hear very distinctly multiple voices crying out, yelling and screaming, "Praise be, thank you, please help us."
Oh, weird. It's like they want this to happen to them. What is going on here? These people are sick.
I smell heresy.
What you do smell is flesh and blood, in the sense that death is in this room. What you can tell is there's a pile of something down the corridor, and you hear the rattling of chains, not unsimilar to the ones that you guys were shackled in at the beginning of your adventure. You can hear iron against iron banging, like maybe cell doors or some sort of prison.
Yeah.
How dark is this? Like, how dark is this corridor? Like, or
As
if
you
I'm
guys
making
open
any
it up,
sense.
yeah, light is creeping in from your room because of the big panels up top. It's able to kind of, if you open this up completely, it's able to light what looks to be halfway, kind of, and you see this pile. It's a pile of bodies. You see arms sticking out, legs, cloth, tattered, shredded bits of coveralls, kind of matted hair and blood. This is a pile of corpses. And you do see on the right side that there are a kind of a pathway of cell bars.
Okay.
Daru, you're coming down.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You see you make it to the bottom. You see that they've opened this locked door, and you're now able to hear, like, the flooding of noise comes right back to you as soon as you leave that the floor of that room above you, and you hear the cries and pleas of multiple people begging. You hear the word emperor. You hear, "Please save us."
Is that pile of meat in the middle alive? I'm gonna go closer to it and like
Inspect
kick
it.
it, see it. Like, what the hell is making this sound?
Taste.
Hope
So-
it's not that.
Basically, when you walk in, there's a row of cells, iron bars to your right, and this pile of bodies is kind of in the middle of the hallway, so it blocks your path almost. You can kind of maybe scooch around it. You'd be walking on some limbs, but it blocks your path to the other side of the wall. What you can gather is there would be essentially 6 different individual cells to your right. And you, as you walk in, you do see that each cell has a tattered, like a worn down human, almost like it's just skeletal, very famished. Just, it's a horrific sight, even though you've seen horrific things kind of in your dreams and in your life. The treatment of these people is pretty horrific. They definitely appear to be refinery workers.
Yeah. Should we let them out?
They call to you. They reach out their arms. And as they start saying, "Please save us," you notice they are all missing their teeth. No teeth. They're all gums, baby.
I hate it. What the hell is this place? I don't want to let these freaks out.
Clearly, if they're locked up, they must have committed some crimes against the Emperor.
And upon hearing the word emperor, "Yes, he shines on us. Please, Emperor, save us. We found it. It came to us. They took us in the night. Please."
Torvald does not even listen to their pleas and just goes to inspect the pile of meat, just like the meat pile in the middle of the room, to see if there's anything useful he can grab.
It's just a stack of bodies, and you see more of the kind of coveralls with the 7-digit numbers. Upon inspection, many hands have been severed, so a lot of the hands are missing. Even pieces of flesh have been carved out, like squares from arms and legs have been carved and peeled off. Not a single tooth is to be found in the mouths of these corpses.
Such a waste of good product.
Yeah, well, let's leave these guys here. I don't think we should let them out. Carry on? Jeez Louise.
No, please help us.
Listen here, I will come back for you. Come back for him, but
I won't.
we'll come back. He promises.
The Emperor promises, and you hear Emperor, 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 and it keeps like almost getting louder. This chanting of Emperor, and then they just stop, and they just all stare at you, silent.
What is happening? We need to move. These people are freaking me out.
Let's get out of the way we came and shut the door.
Yeah, latch this one real tight for sure. And yeah, I think with that, I'm leaving this room and going back to the other one.
Torval follows.
Are you guys going up towards the crawl space,
Yeah,
or are you guys?
I think that's the move. Like, I don't know what's up there.
Yeah.
I was never told. So yeah, I think that's the next spot
Yeah.
we go.
Yep.
Daru, you've seen it. They're going to
Yeah.
start making their way.
Guys, we should head back. I don't like it up there either.
How do we find evidence? What counts as evidence that this place is fucked up? Can they not? Is it? What do we need to do?
As far as I'm concerned, it's not my problem anymore. I want to get out of here.
They're gonna hunt us, so
I've been hunted my whole life. Doesn't bother me.
We still have that prisoner that's puking his guts out. Why would we just bring him back?
yeah, that seems like that could work. Listen, if they wanted a job done right, they shouldn't have hired 3 filthy gangers. That's what I think.
Who said anything about a ganger?
While you guys are discussing this, you do hear this just kind of low mechanical this beeping coming from the panel of switches, knobs, and buttons underneath the computer screen behind you.
I'll go over to it and see what it's about. Like, is there a button flashing, or is there?
There is a red flashing singular button below the screen.
I press it against my better judgment.
The screen illuminates. It's this deep kind of green, old school, and you see this like square blinking at the top right, and it's transmission incoming, transmission incoming, and it keeps doing that.
What is that?
I
Why
don't know.
is
I
it beeping at us?
press this button here and it's turned on. I don't even know what it says.
Press it again. See what happens.
I press the button again.
It stops the message of transmission incoming, and it says 2 words: access records.
Can I read?
Press it again.
I can't read it, but on the advice of Torval, I will press the button again.
This is so stupid. I love it. It gives you a Y/N.
Hell is that?
Okay.
Can't do him straight face.
Press it again.
It highlights the Y.
Press it.
And it clicks it. It goes, and then this whole screen just floods with numbers and letters flying. And then it stops, and you see imperial dates. You can read that this would be about 30 days ago, and you start seeing these records kind of forming of drill site numbers, hourly digging reports. You don't really understand a lot of it, but what you can see is that after about 10 minutes or so, you start reading that they did a lot of drilling and mining for a specific ore. You can't quite tell like what they were going after, but you keep seeing this word interrupted. It says hours interrupted, drill interrupted everywhere. And it would say error in certain lines. And then pops up quotation, and you do see a name, Daxon Carr, lead operations. And within that, you start to hear a transmission coming from a speaker just in front of you. And it says, we found, unearthed, it calls to us. We no idea. We continue drilling, and then it goes away. And then it beeps again. It gives you more records, and you keep seeing this interrupted error. And then you see the word hazard, and it keeps popping up. And you hear another transmission coming out, and you can gather it's multiple voices, and it's screaming, and it says record, and it's screaming in this panicked voice. You hear what sounds like a very similar voice to the one before that was a little bit muffled, but screaming about unearthing. You hear the words bestial. You hear the words horrific. And you hear the words beautiful and dreams. And then the transmission stops.
Well, I think this is the evidence we need. Let's go.
Yeah, is there any way we can either take this or hit this? How do we get this off of this?
You look, and you can kind of see a few more lights popping up on the buttons and whatnot. Everybody give me a D20 roll. So let's see what happens here. Everybody give me a D20.
16.
12.
Okay, gentlemen. You are able to kind of look around and see that there's green and red lights that discern kind of like a yes and no. And you do see that you recognize what to be like a memory slot. And it does have a disk in there. And below on the panel on the screen, it does say transfer records, and boop, and you transfer them, and you hear this kind of mechanical whirring sound, and the screen goes black, and this disc encased kind of in this glass pops out. And as soon as it does, everything goes black, the lights shut off, and you hear this massive roar and dozens of voices screaming from all around you.
Let's get out of here. Grab that thing and let's go.
And we're gonna call our session there tonight. We're going to pause it there tonight. So, yes, this is gonna probably be a two-parter. But I want to thank you guys for playing in this, and thank you, chat, for joining us. But yeah, we're gonna two-part this because you guys are onto something really cool. It's very good.
Yeah, man, Court, you're an awesome GM from the way you're describing things, just to all of it, man. Great job. Had a lot of fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I do like GMing. I don't GM often. This one was a little interesting to try and kind of translate into 40K world, and but yeah, it's fun, and I really appreciate it. So we're gonna 2-part our horror at Outpost 31. You guys did really well, I will say.
Oh man, some great moments. Classic.
Harleth almost dying.
Saved by
Saint
the
Harleth.
Emperor. Saint Harleth.
Torval brewing up some potions. Love that. The skull is awesome. The skull is great. Yeah.
The main hero of the story.
The skull is the MVP.
The bravest member of our group.
Exactly.
Daru, selfish son of a bitch, loved it, but sneaky as fuck. Sneaky. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
he'll probably
sneaky
end up
kid.
murdering us at the end of this for sure. Taking
Or
our shit.
murdered. We'll see. 50-50.
Yeah. Oh.
Classic. I love RPGs. If you guys have never tried them before, highly recommend. What's great about them is you don't need anything more than just really a little pen and paper, and you're good to go. And then you can have a great storytelling like this. It was funny. My wife was asking me a little bit about like character development and stuff, and I said I don't know how this one's gonna go. It's fun doing a character like just randomly and building it as you go like this. Where normally, you can come up with like pages of character backstory that you're trying to develop. So a lot of fun, man. The improv's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys did great. This was very fun.
Well, I don't know when part 2 of this will come out. We'll try to keep it so you guys aren't waiting too long, but there might be a little bit of a wait. But we'll jump back to our regular scheduled program. I keep saying we're doing the Blood Angels next, but then cool things like this keep coming up. So hopefully next
You're
time
just
we do
stalling, Mark. You're just stalling.
I know.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I can't handle his death. Court, you cry a lot when we talk about the Primarchs, but
I don't know why, man. It's so emotional. It's so good.
This one got me writing it, man. It was like, oh my god, what'd they do to that guy, that poor guy? But anyways, we'll see you guys all on the next episode of Lorehammer. Don't forget to join the Discord, join the Patreon, and all that kind of fun stuff. Support the show, and we will see you all on the next episode of Lorehammer. Thanks again, Court, Gerald, Christian, and adios.
Cheers.